Alright, so today we are going to, or I'm going to show you a simple way to make a budget computer. So let's just get right into it. So for the first thing, we got obviously CPU. I'm using PC Part Picker as my computer build. Now we want to go kind of budget on this, is what I'm trying to do right here. So I think a pretty good budget CPU would be AMD Ryzen uh, 5 3400G. It's not a bad price for how much performance it has. It's equivalent to I think like an i5 7th gen, which is pretty good. Now for a CPU cooler, you can really choose any, but really the best match for AMD is AMD. Now that's really expensive, but you want to just try to find a cheap one that kind of resembles still an AMD fan. Like the Assassin here, that's $17. That should still work with the Ryzen 5. Yep, see, still compatible. Alright, and now for a motherboard, I'm just gonna choose my motherboard. I currently have I have an Asus Prime something something G. So I'm just gonna go over here into Asus Prime BM550K. Now I only have one that has two slots, so that'd be my motherboard right there. Um, Another good way to actually yeah, no, the way I tried to show the computer that's there is just does not work. So I'll just tell you and I'll just show you the computer that I was trying to show you right now. Alright, so the computer I was trying to show you right here for the motherboard is a custom built RGB light. So basically this is all a bunch of crap. You don't need to buy something like this. But it's an HP Pro desktop. So you're gonna have a motherboard. It has 8 GB of RAM. I'm assuming DDR3 because it has an i5 4th gen. You can tell the generation by that first number right there, or by the second number here. Quad core doesn't really matter. Windows 10 is pretty good. It has Wi-Fi pre-built inside of it, which is amazing. Some don't. And this is a 500 GB SSD, which is insane because this whole computer only costs 184 bucks. So honestly, I would get this over just buying like a $200 motherboard that has nothing with it, especially if you're not going for like a very high-end computer. So I'd suggest this over anything. Just for if you want to go really cheap. Now right here, I'm pretty sure this is pretty good. But like I said, I'm just gonna go with my motherboard. So we're just gonna go with the Asus Prime BM5K. Add. Alright, this is PC Part Picker again. This is a pretty good website for this, and you can get motherboards that still support DDR3. I would recommend that you get at least DDR4 though, especially if you're going for like a gaming build. Oh, this is what this is budget gaming build. I don't know if I've said that yet, but you should see all this cheap RAM right here, like $39, but that's only 16 gigs. Now we kind of want to abuse this, so we have 16 gigs right here for 2 sticks. So what we could do here is we could add that, and since we have 4 slots on this motherboard, we could add additional memory, obviously, so get more. And that's gonna be about the same price as getting some other stuff, but I'm pretty sure this is after tax, so it might be cheaper than getting just 32 gigs of 2 sticks of RAM. So now for storage, you should probably get an SSD over a hard drive if you're going for performance. So SSD over hard drive, Samsung 870. It costs per gigabyte, it costs 90 cents per gigabyte. In total it costs $90. That's pretty good for 1 terabyte SSD, so I would actually recommend that. You just add it right there. Additional storage. So now you already got an SSD. This is probably a good idea, is to get any real type of hard drive. The Western Digital ones are really cheap though, so Western Digital. I spelled hard drive wrong. But right here, Caviar Blue, 1 terabyte for $40. Now if you scroll down more, you're actually gonna see 8 terabyte ones for a few $100s. You want to click on those ones. You want like about that. That's gonna be a little bit cheaper per gigabyte. Actually, that's more expensive. Well, it's 24 terabytes, 21 cents. It's gonna cost you about $500, so we don't want to get that. I have this right here. Honestly, I would recommend something like this. About $200 for 10 terabytes. That's a very good deal. Still Western Digital. Alright, and for a video card, a good starter base for medium spec would be a 1050 Ti stuff. That's what I have. I have a medium spec computer. But if you wanted to just go the extra mile, you could get a 1080, which would put you about low spectrum of the high spec computers. But I think a 1060 should actually be sufficient for performance on a medium spec computer. So yeah, we have a 16 gigabyte, not 16, 6 gigabyte graphics card here. There's no price available. I'd probably say it's close to this Asus one though. So MSI GeForce GTX 1060, add it right there. We don't really get the price on that very well, so no price is available, so we won't really know the price. I'd say it's probably about same price as that Asus one, so probably like $200, $300. Now for most cases, doesn't really matter. I would recommend the Be Quiet cases though. I think they look nice and they're fairly cheap. I did not spell it right. Be quiet. No. Be quiet. There we go. Be Quiet. Now I really like this case that has this kind of see-through glass kind of thing here, and it has a decent amount of USB ports on the top, so I'm just gonna add that right there. Has a backup fan. Not backup, it has an exhaust fan on the back. Power supply doesn't really matter if you're working with a 1060, so I would say just get a cheap one, but not too cheap because it should matter. You don't want to burn your house down. Okay, so yeah, right here is a good deal. You don't really need any special power supplies. Operating system, Windows 11 has a lot of bloat on it, so I would probably go with Windows 10 OEM 64-bit. That's what I have. I don't have a license for it though. And choose a monitor. Now you don't need to do this on PC Part Picker, but I feel like a good kind of mix would be like an Acer monitor. You don't want to go crazy like the Nitro ones. Like that's really expensive for how much it actually costs. But like right here, that's actually a pretty good deal. So get one of those. Now if you're a streamer, you'd probably get 2, but that should be about good for the price. So it's about $1,000 medium spec computer. You can get all these prices for all of this from Amazon, I think. Yeah, probably get that from Amazon too. So $1,000 medium spec computer, you can get this all from Amazon, so that's actually a really good deal. And if you have any suggestions for what I should build next, I would gladly take them. Goodbye.